Good evening. This is Mr. William, West Virginia, and I am videoing from my daughter Sydney's apartment. We're going to do a special video, something that we've been talking about for several years. Um, we're coming up on the first day of the new year, and 2020 will be a 7-year anniversary of a tragic accident that happened to Sydney. I'm going to let her explain a little bit about it, and then we're going to kind of hopefully deter some of you from making a mistake on New Year's Eve. So, Sydney, you can explain what happened on
Okay.
that evening.
Well, first, I decided that I was going to spend the night with my best friend Tyra, and I was going to spend the new year with her and her family. But throughout the night, a friend texted me and asked me to spend time with him, and so I didn't really think of anything of it, and I decided that I would do that. And he called me, and he ended up walking over to my dad's house, and so I'm not sure when it was, but we ended up being behind my dad's house, and he brought a different number of alcohol with him, and we decided to drink, and I don't remember how much, but I drank too much, and I ended up passing out, and he left me there, and a neighbor found me in the snow, passed out, and he was just trying to get a hold of someone to help me, and I don't remember a whole lot of what happened.
Okay, now that particular incident happened on January the 1st of 2013. Um, and it was something that ended up leading to her going to the hospital, having a heart attack in an ambulance, and being taken to Ruby Memorial to be taken care of. We were there for 28 days. She was in a coma for several days. Came out of that. We left from there. Well, actually, they did a bunch of operations on her. We left there, went to Health South for another 20 some days, and then we came home and we began her rehab process, because what ended up happening is
I struggle with being able to remember things from a daily basis. Like, I don't have no idea what happened yesterday, and I have trouble remembering what happened this morning. But I can honestly say that from when that happened to now, I'm so much better. I mean, I would like to continue to heal and to be better, but I can only take it a day at a time.
so we're basically doing this video to help, hopefully, educate and help some of you to understand that going out on New Year's Eve and possibly drinking or doing drugs could literally change the whole course of your life. My daughter was 14 at the time. She had never drank before, didn't do drugs, and one evening completely changed the course of her life, my life, and the people around us. Um, it ended up being a very enlightening time because we learned a lot about doctors. I'm a nurse, so I learned a lot about how doctors function and what they do in hospitals. But it was not a good time for us. And then when she got out, we had a lot of rehab, right? And there were a lot of sticky notes we would have to put up because she would forget simple little instructions. So we had to actually have instructions all over the house for her, and she ended up being in special ed in school because she had trouble remembering things. Now she's way better than she was. She still has some issues as far as memory and everything, and she had a lot of anger from what had happened, and a lot of unforgiveness, and we're still working on all those things. But what we want to share and what we talked about as father and daughter is that we don't want to make anybody feel bad. We don't want anybody to feel sorry for us, because this has been something where I can honestly say, after all that's been said and done, she's a better person from everything she went through. but we don't want to see any of you go through what she went through. She had operations. She had very, very frustrating times. We've had emotional things. She's had to go to doctors for all kinds of different reasons. She was on medication for a while. She's had to deal with depression. She's had to deal with so many things from one mistake on New Year's Eve. And we want to prevent anybody, whether you're a young child or whether you're a young adult, whether you're college age, whether you're an older person, to understand that all it takes is one mistake. And a lot of what happened to her was not necessarily because of the alcohol. It was the process of getting healed and going to doctors and having them guess what was wrong with her and deciding to operate on her, and her getting some infections, and then they had to operate on her again, and they were trying to tube feed her, and she didn't really need that. And it was a nightmare that I don't want to see any parent go through, and I don't want to see any child go through. And this young lady is such a jewel to me, because through all she's gone through, she is better. Thank God, because it's been God. It's been a lot of people praying for her, a lot of people loving on her, a lot of people being very patient with her. But she could probably tell you she's lost parts of her life that she'll never get back, and there are memories and things that she can't hold on to. And I have to deal with how frustrated she gets, and in that, we've learned to love her and be patient, and she's learned to kind of be more patient with us, because sometimes we get frustrated. um, but it's something we really felt like we don't want to see anyone go through. So please, on New Year's Eve, pick something else to do besides getting drunk for the night, or drinking a bunch of alcohol, or doing any kind of drugs just to try and bring in the new year. Stay sober. All right? Enough said?
I guess.
We love you, but more importantly, God loves you. Shalom.